Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad McKay. That's Tyson Gentry. This is our picks episode. It's that time of the week again when, Tyson, we get to sit back, be gluttonous, try to make some money, try to eat like terrible food, but say it's healthy, drink some beer. You know how it is.
Yeah, I mean, it kicks off at 10 a.m. my time. I mean, it's hard to get up and do anything else. Look, babe, I have to sit in front of the TV and watch college football. I don't know what to tell you.
Your arms are tied. That's what it is.
Yeah, I didn't make this decision. It just chose me when I was like 7 years old, and I've been doing it every weekend since then.
Exactly. So we will be coming with you with our Week 9 picks in college football. But first, you guys know what we do. We look back, we recap, and so let's take a peek at what happened in our Week 8 last week. And man, a lot of work for not a lot of profit for me. 6-5-1 plus 0.45 units. Oklahoma State plus 9.5. That got home. Crazy game. Washington State been a wagon for me, minus 18.5. Speaking of wagons, Miami Louisville over 59.5. Just played the overs in the Louisville Miami games. It's crazy. Bowling Green minus 20.5. Win by a hook. Thank you, Mac. North Texas Memphis over 67.5. That was a rocking chair play. My goodness. And then SMU minus 15.5. Another rocking chair play. They just dominated Stanford. Now on the flip side, my L's play of the week. Been struggling with those. Florida State, disgusting loss at plus 3. They're just unbettable. That was a game they should have won. I don't know how they didn't cover. It was a joke. Arizona State, Cincy over 50.5. Arizona State's star quarterback out. I had to unfortunately watch Jeff Sims, my sworn enemy from his time in Nebraska. So that was brutal. That didn't get home. Texas minus 5. We talked about this earlier in the week. That didn't get home. Alabama, Tennessee, one of the worst games you'll ever see, over 55.5. That didn't come home. And then Tulane minus 21.5. Boy, Tyson's giving me flowers for picking them. And then they just sleepwalk through. And then Missouri, what a lucky push I got with them minus 4. So ultimately, I'll take plus 0.45 units, even though it was a lot to get a little.
Yeah, I'll trade you. I've been on just a crazy skid the last couple weekends. Another week under 500 here for me, 3-5. The service academies get home, pretty much no sweat in either one of those games. I was on Georgia money line. We talked about that earlier in the week. Lost the Iowa State play of the week at 13.5. They were lucky to get out of there with their lives. I went hunting a little bit with the Nevada money line and the Louisville money line. I thought I could have had them both, and I didn't end up with either one of them. Clemson, just a crazy job there, Dabo, to not cover at 20.5. And then we rode the Alabama-Tennessee game together because we're idiots and didn't want to take Tennessee money line.
Yeah, yep. And Dabo, that's what I was worried about a little bit, Tyson, because he's facing one of his old assistants. And, he doesn't like to rub it in with his old assistants. So
run it up.
Yeah, run it up. Come on, man. All right, so I'm down 7.65 units on the year. Tyson's down 10.29. As a podcast combined, we're down 17.94. Yeah, we're halfway through. I think we can turn it around. We've had some big weeks in the past.
I did turn it around. I turned it the other way.
The other way, right.
Yeah.
So we're trying to go back. We're trying to climb the mountain again. That's what we're going to go for. Big. We're second half team, second half podcast. So without further ado, let's get into things for the week.
It's money-making time.
All right, Tyson. I got the tee box. I'm going to hold on to it. I'm hoping for a while if I have a big week here. Let's start off with my play of the week. I'm going Friday night action. Boise State, UNLV over 64.5. That's minus 105 on BetMGM. This is just a field play for me. I think this is a fireworks show in the Mountain West. It's a late night game on that fast track in Allegiant Stadium. Boise State's coming back from the island. How are they going to be affected? They kind of shut things down over there, and everybody's like, well, they didn't look that good. They're prepared for this game. This is punching your ticket into the college football playoff or not. They're going to be rested. They're going to be ready. On the flip side, UNLV, they were sleepy against Oregon State. That almost cost them a shot last weekend, but now they come back home. This offense has been really good with Hodge Malik Williams taking over at quarterback. Ricky White's now involved. So why am I taking the over? I'm not a believer in Boise State's defense. Hawaii's offense isn't very good. They're moving the ball on them. This UNLV offense is great. I think we need to see a little bit more out of Boise State. And on the flip side, yes, this is the best running defense that Boise State has faced since Oregon, when they chopped up Oregon like it was chopped cheese at the deli in New York City. Like, it was crazy. So let me get the over here. This is going to be awesome. Over 64.5. Let's have a big Friday night banger.
I hope it's awesome. That's one thing that I want because I'm staying on Friday night too, Brad. We're gonna have the split screens up. My play of the week: Boston College plus 7.5. Louisville just a heartbreaker, really, in the way that they lost to Miami. It was up and down the field and all that stuff. There's some, just ACC shenanigans that seem to happen every single week in this conference. But Boston College is at home. They play well in these spots. This is we talk about it sometimes jokingly a little bit, but there's kind of an NFL staff here welcoming in Jeff Brom, who's on a bit of a skid. Can he get these guys fired up and ready to roll, traveling all the way out there? I think over a touchdown, I'm comfortable here. And I was looking at Boston College to win the game. That might be in our Discord later this week.
And Tyson will tell you how to find that. Then, we'll be sweating this game out on Friday night because I'm with you, but I'm in a different play. I'm taking the over 53.5 minus 110 on FanDuel. This feels low. I am a little bit worried about the Louisville offense, but it's a really good unit, right? They're 32nd in EPA per rush, 13th in EPA per pass. I think they can take advantage of this Boston College defense. It's 42nd, and there's the kicker, 70th in defending the pass. Tyler Shuck has been able to move it. The weapons that Louisville has, I think, are going to be one of the best that Boston College has faced to date. And on the flip side, Tyson, we just saw Louisville get shredded up by a mobile quarterback in Cam Ward. Well, Boston College is Thomas Castellanos. He's feeling a little bit healthier. He's been able to throw the rock. Sure, they're 58th in EPA per rush and 68th in EPA per pass. But this Louisville defense, I know they say 34th in stopping the run. I didn't see that against Miami. 66 in defending the pass. I think this could be a fireworks show here. Bill O'Brien, what do we see? If something works, it's the NFL mindset. We'll just keep attacking it and attacking it. And I think he's going to have plenty of opportunity to do that. Plus, these offenses can be explosive, Tyson. Louisville 14th in Eckel. Boston College defense is 80th. Now, Boston College offense isn't that explosive because they run it, but this Louisville defense, 51st. So I think there can be some more explosive plays from Boston College. Give me the over on Friday night.
Speaking of explosive plays, I'm going to be praying for them late Saturday. I'm going with Colorado here to cover this spread, minus 6.5, and then minus 110 on FanDuel here. This is a team that's found its footing. We were talking about them earlier in the week. Go back and check out that episode for a little bit more in-depth breakdown. But we think Colorado has a sneaky shot here just to at least end up threatening a playoff spot by the time that these rankings officially come out. And I think that they take care of business at home.
Tyson, I'm staying in the game with you. I'm taking the over in this. And you're going to see a thing for me. I was super negative about the state of college football earlier in the week. Let's have some fun this weekend. Maybe that was a stinker that we did get out. And we're late in the season. Some teams are starting to get some buys and coming off of it. And we're a little bit more locked in. I think we see points in this. Cincinnati's offense might be the best that Colorado's faced. I know they've played Arizona. It's supposed to be good on paper, but they're not. Spoiler, I'm going to be pissed, I think, at myself for taking a play. But Cincy, Colorado over 56.5 minus 110 on FanDuel. Now, I like the way this Colorado offense is looking. Now, we went in depth on it earlier in the week, so if you want to listen to that and what we think about them, go check that out. But long story short, this offense isn't just the Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter show. They got real weapons on the outside. 63rd in EPA per rush, although they are running the ball better than earlier in the season, but they're 30th in EPA per pass. And they're going up against a Cincy team that's 14th and 47th in those metrics. So I think Colorado has an advantage through the air, and we're going to see some explosive plays. On the flip side, with the Cincy offense, 29th in EPA per rush, 33rd in EPA per pass. They can move it under Scott Satterfield coming over from App State a few years ago. And yes, this Colorado defense has been a little bit better. But Tyson, they're still 52nd in defending the run. And yeah, 22nd in defending the pass. But that's predicated on Travis Hunter being healthy and available. He's been a little bit banged up. I expect him to go, but is he going to be a little bit limited? I think we're going to see points in this one.
I'm going the opposite of points. In my next play, check out the flag behind Brad. I'm going under when Penn State visits Wisconsin this weekend. This is a huge game. This is a massive game. I think that I've been saying it all year, and I've been wrong every time, so take this maybe with a grain of salt. But this might be an original Big Ten football game. We might finally get one at some point this season. Penn State wants to run the ball. They'll hit explosives, sure, but they're few and far between, a little bit more than we were hoping for before the season started, Brad, I think. And maybe they find their footing here, but I think Penn State plays ball control football and gets out of here get out of here live. This is a 21-10 kind of football game.
Well, I like the 21-10 number, Tyson, because I'm taking Penn State minus 6.5. That's minus 110 on MGM. Now, why am I taking this? I got to say, I'm a bit nervous. You're going to hear it if you're listening to these different pick shows. James Franklin, he's bad off of a bye and this and that. He could be looking ahead to Ohio State. I don't know if that's the case here because they've been talking all week. Now, again, if you're watching on YouTube, I have the Penn State flag, so I'm a little bit more tuned into what's going on coming out of, that camp per se than maybe some of the other schools around the country. But, they're focused on this one. Like, they know this is an opportunity. If they win this game, even if they lose to Ohio State, they are going to punch their ticket into the college football playoff. Now, why am I laying the points? Yes, Wisconsin looks better. Yes, Braden Locke has got this offense operating better than when Tyler Van Dyke was there. Tyson, you know who they're dominating? Purdue, horrible. Rutgers, they're not on the caliber that Penn State is. What happened when they stepped up in class? I mean, we think USC stinks. They were pushing around Wisconsin. Wisconsin couldn't do anything against them. That was with Tyler Van Dyke, sure. Alabama falling from grace. They just outclassed Wisconsin. Now we're going to have Penn State come in here better in the trenches in some points than Alabama, especially defensively.
All points, all 10 of them.
How about this? And then the other thing, here's where I think it's going to be a difference maker for Penn State. Now, Nick Singleton has to be healthy. There's some foot concerns there, but they're 25th in EPA per rush. Even that's when them dropping down a little bit in production there. Going up against a defense that's 56th in EPA per rush on defense. So I think Penn State's going to be able to move the chains effectively. Yes, this Wisconsin defense has a good secondary, but I think Penn State just dominates in the trenches. They run all over them. They're going to be able to suffocate Braden Locke, force them into mistakes, and it's going to be the big stage that swallows Wisconsin and not Penn State.
That is poetic. That's the first time I think I've ever heard you go against the team that James Franklin is playing in a big spot. Most of the time, you're a little scared. You're playing an over.
I'm scared. Don't get me wrong, but we'll see.
I'm going with Illinois to cover 22. It's on DraftKings minus 110. This is a backdoor all the way situation for me. I think Oregon comes out hot and heavy. They're firing on all cylinders, and Onsen, Illinois can keep this game close enough. I'm still getting under 3 touchdowns, and if Illinois can score 21 points, I feel like we're okay here. And to be honest with you, I'm sick of losing these Oregon plays because of almost backdoors, or they are getting backdoors. So this time I'm trying to snipe something.
All right, Tyson. Let's get some Patico plays here before we move into our big mono play that we got. I'm taking Notre Dame Navy under 51.5. It's minus 118 on FanDuel. Now, these teams are good at defending the run. These teams are good at defending the pass. Navy's been explosive. This is the best defense they've faced. I think they're going to limit the explosive plays on both sides. We know Notre Dame doesn't really have that because they can't push the ball down the field through the air. They're going to want to run the football. They're going to pass, try to move the chains with Riley Leonard, but it's not going to be big bombs over the top. Navy on the flip side, they've been bombing their opponents, right? Like they've been able to just go out in there and just crush them, right? They've been submarining them on the ground. They've been launching missiles off the ships. Not against Notre Dame, right? Not against the Golden Domer, the Golden Domers. This, to me, Tyson, is classic where we play an under spot where the clock tick, 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 ball's in play, no more first down stoppage on the clock, and all of a sudden we're looking up and it's like, oh my God, it's 7-0 after the first quarter. Under 51.5 for me.
I'm right there with you. Same idea. Exactly the same idea. Just run the ball. Just keep the clock moving. I don't have any Navy puns.
I was trying to be a little cheeky with it, but we had to address it once it became a little obvious. Tyson, another play with some Patico on. Tulane, North Texas over 66.5. That's minus 115 on FanDuel. So again, if it's not broke, why are you trying to fix it? Tulane's offense is explosive and North Texas defense stinks. I'll run through this because Tyson, I think, has the same feeling. Tulane's 54th in EPA per rush, 27th in EPA per pass. North Texas's defense just got carved up by Memphis. Is 92nd in defending the run, 115th in defending the pass. This is just going to be a fireworks show from Tulane. I think they could put up 50 points by themselves. They've done it. They put up 70 against UAB. I don't know why they couldn't do this against North Texas. It's a better offense than what Memphis just did last week, who had plays. But we need points on their side to get home, right? We need North Texas to score some points. Well, good thing they got a good offense, right? 57th in EPA per rush, so not the best, but 44th in EPA per pass. So I think they're going to be able to throw the ball. If Chandler Rogers can avoid some pressure like he did last week, move the chains with his legs, find some players downfield, we're going to have points, and I think over 66.5 here is safe.
I mean, almost all North Texas games have at least threatened this number, right? Like Stephen F. Austin, that game goes under. The Wyoming game would go under this number, and both those are close. Everything else is flying over. I mean, they're having huge numbers hung up on them while giving 50 back occasionally. I don't think they give 50 back to Tulane, but I mean, Texas Tech blew the doors off them early in the season. Dude, it's this thing could have been 100, and we might have still been taking a look.
Did you see the one last week? It was New Mexico and I think it was Utah State. The total was 77.5 or something like that. And it went over by a mile.
No, I would have played that. That sounds like a ton of fun.
Tyson, another play that we're simpatico on. BYU, UCF over 53.5 minus 112 on DraftKings. Now, we both think UCF is live to win this game. We just don't have the stones to take it because BYU has been our kryptonite. Now, we got one home last week, at least I did. I'll put it in the win column for both of us because we're trying to figure out what this BYU magic is. So Oklahoma State covers, and how'd they do it largely? Oh, they got the ground game going. So I'm looking at this. It says BYU is 18th in defending the rush on an EPA basis. I think that's just because teams are trying to throw against them because BYU all of a sudden is up by 1,000,000 points. But UCF is going to run the football. How about this? Ja'Cory Brown takes over for KJ Jefferson. Okay, yeah, it wasn't pretty through the air. 8 for 20, 62 yards, 2 picks. But he went 13 rushes, 154 on the ground with 2 tuds. Completely opened up the ground game for UCF against an Iowa State defense that was really good. I think Iowa State's defense is better than this BYU's defense. I think UCF's going to be able to do the same thing to BYU that they did to Iowa State. That means run all over them, score explosive plays. On the flip side, Tyson, we just talked about this when we're talking about our boys from BYU. 18th in EPA per rush, 35th in EPA per pass. Going up against the defense in UCF that's 28th and 75th in those metrics. Bounce House is going to be rocking. Bounce House is going to see some points. Let's go over the total.
I'm with you. I mean, UCF answered the bell every single time their offense needed to until the end of the game last week, essentially. And BYU's offense has answered the bell every time anybody scored on them all season long. So I think that this one might be comfortable.
One that I'm not too comfortable with here, I got to say, Tyson, they're luring me in. I know I'm going to be pissed. Memphis minus 17.5. That's minus 110 on BetMGM. They're playing a Charlotte team that is just awful. It's just not good. They got embarrassed by Navy. That was to Tyson's not detriment, but is to his advantage because he just played that. Let's go service academies. Memphis ran the football heavy against North Texas. That's a weakness they have to exploit against Charlotte. They're 102nd in defending the run on an EPA basis. Memphis 16th in EPA per rush. Now, they're not good at passing. Memphis isn't. 84th in EPA per pass. They might not need to. Charlotte 65th in defending the pass on the EPA basis. So I think this is just going to be run. Should work for Memphis. So how are we going to cover this number? Charlotte's offense is just not good. 87th EPA per rush, 82nd in pass. And Memphis's defense, they can shut things down. 36th in defending the run, 85th in defending the pass. But I'll be okay with that as long as Memphis has a ton of points on the board, which I think they will.
That's like 2 hallmarks of our college football season so far: is you playing Memphis and one of us picking on Charlotte. This is just getting ridiculous. This is bullying at this point. I'm going here. This is my last play of the week. I'm taking Indiana at home minus 6.5. I know they just crush Nebraska. Maybe they're going to come out and be slow-footed to start this game, and Washington is scary and they can control the ball and all the stuff. They beat Michigan, Brad. That's awesome. Sig Hank 70 on everybody. Give me Indiana and the points. They're at home. Nick, I got your back because your brother's about to disrespect you.
Yeah, it's been too kumbaya here. I had to go opposite of Tyson. I'm taking them plus 6.5, minus 102 on FanDuel. The real reason here is because Curtis Rourke, their incredible quarterback for Indiana, is out. So it's going to be Taven Jackson. Now, he looked good in mop-up duty and when he came in, but I just don't know, man. Washington's coming off a bye. I think Jed Fish is a really good coach. Now, the defense, there's something to be desired there. But Tyson, how about 11th in defending the pass? So if you turn Indiana one-dimensional, yes, they're a really good rushing team, 8th in EPA per rush. They can take advantage of Washington's defense at 64th in defending the run. So maybe it doesn't even fall in the arms of Taven Jackson. It's just run. But I think if you stack the box and have them try to beat you, you're already good at defending. Maybe put some guys out in the island. That, to me, is a pathway for Washington. Now, on the flip side, we have an experienced quarterback in Will Rogers. If this is the Indiana defense that's been really good, 29th or 21st in EPA per rush, 31st in EPA per pass. But it's going to be juiced up. Yeah. Game days there. Shout out Indiana. It's going to be a sick environment. I'm happy for them. I don't want to see them go down this way. Maybe Indiana can win by a field goal. I win my bet. Unfortunately, Tyson loses his, but they keep the dream season alive. But I got to take the points here.
You don't believe it for a second. Not a word out of your mouth came out with conviction right there. I think you want to take Indiana.
Maybe I'm doing the reverse jinx. Indiana crushes them. They keep the season alive. My brother's happy. Maybe I should have taken Wisconsin. What am I thinking? I mean, screw Penn State. What am I doing? All right.
It's late.
Tyson's done. So if you guys are tuning in for the first time, I got more plays than him normally every single week. So I kind of bounce some ideas off of him, see what he thinks, see if we're thinking right or if I'm screwed in the head. Let's go UConn -6.5, -105 on FanDuel. UConn's coming off a disappointing loss against Wake Forest. It's probably a game they should have won, but they're at home again, facing a Rice team that I just don't think is very good. 108th in EPA per rush, 122nd in EPA per pass. That's just gross. And they're facing a motivated UConn team, Tyson. It's 85th in defending the run, 48th in defending the pass. I think that's a recipe for disaster. On the flip side, UConn, their offense leaves much to be desired. 105th in EPA per rush, 79th in EPA per pass. But this defense for Rice, I think, is going to let UConn breathe a little bit, 104th, 84th, respectively, in those categories. So I think UConn, especially under a touchdown, can get this done.
Rice sucks. So, I mean, that's a good side to be on.
All right, let's what else do I got here? This one might piss you off, I think. And we talked about it a little bit before the show, but I'm laying it with James Madison -24, -110 on DraftKings. So here's my reasoning. Power ratings wise, this is 23.5, 30.4. So James Madison's better than Southern Miss. I don't think there's going to be a fired coach bounce back here. Sometimes it happens. Oh, we hated the coach. We're going to play hard now. I think this Southern Miss team just stinks. Like, they need a new direction. They need somebody to bring in somebody, bring in some transfers. I don't know. This team stinks. James Madison is good. They're coming off an embarrassing loss. They get to come back home. They get to regroup. Let's get our heads out of our ass. Let's play hard. For 41st in EPA per rush, 49th in EPA per pass. Tyson, they're going up against a team that's 131st and 130th in that. This should be a bloodbath. I can't believe this is 24 points, under 4 touchdowns. Give me a break. Let's go lay the wood with James Madison.
The way James Madison looked last week made me throw up in my mouth, and so I can't, in good conscience, play this one with you. So I'm all the way out on this one.
Well, how about this one? This already is making me throw up in my mouth. I'm taking over 52 in the West Virginia-Arizona game. It's -110 on DraftKings. Now, here's why. There's a chance that Garrett Green, the starting quarterback for West Virginia, is out. He's questionable right now, so it'll be Nico Marchiol. The backup quarterback would be taking his place. Now, he's been in the system before, so I kind of take these numbers at least with a grain of salt, or at least kind of keep them on the same plane. But Arizona, Tyson, I think this is where they're due for an offensive breakthrough. This West Virginia defense, 116th in EPA per pass on defense. It's a horrible secondary. I think, honestly, Tetero McMillan might get 20 receptions, forget targets. Like, he might be on the Tyler Warren Penn State thing, because after the New Mexico game when he had 4 touchdowns, had an insane 300-yard performance, they're like, all right, yeah, that was awesome. But against Northern Arizona, when they game planned them out, we got to spread the ball around. Well, this offense looks like trash when you're not targeting them. Throw the ball to your best player. Win a game so you can get bowl eligible. You got to do it at home. Their 46 in EPA per rushes, I think, helps too, so you can have a little balance there. But target your guy. Then on the other side, West Virginia's offense, they're 76 in EPA per rush, so not necessarily great. This was supposed to be a good running team coming in. I'm not quite sure what happened. Some injuries there. But Arizona is banged up on defense. Like, they are a walking infirmary. Already 82nd in EPA per rush. Their best player on defense is out, and Jacob Manu, the leading tackler. My goodness. I think this is going to be a fireworks show. We're finally going to see it like we thought down in Tucson.
Well, it's 2 Jekyll and Hyde football teams. West Virginia looks like, there was a sizable portion of the country, and you and I both kind of had a feeling maybe they were going to win last week when they got absolutely blown out. Neither one of us put it on our slips, thank goodness. But there's other weeks where they're scoring a bunch of points. And dude, you've played the Arizona over every week, and I don't know if you've hit one yet. So this has to be it.
I definitely played it twice, and I took the point against BYU, which was embarrassing. And so Arizona's got to come through for your boy. Come on, guys. Last one for me, Tyson. How about a little rivalry game over? Kansas State over 55.5 minus 108 on DraftKings. Now, what rivalry game? Well, you guys are crazy. Not all rivalries are created the same, right? Iowa State under. Alabama, Auburn. Game's going to be crazy. Probably want to take the points with whoever's getting points, and it's normally Auburn. Like, stuff like that. Like, you kind of know. These games always have a tendency to get a little crazy. Two offensive minds in Lance Leipold and Chris Kleiman. Like, we like them both. Now, why Kansas has looked much different without Andy Kotelnicki on offense. Tyson, I think they're starting to figure out a little bit. So when I'm looking at their numbers, it's actually much better than I thought on an EPA basis. 44th in rushing, 66th in passing. That's with a quarterback and Jalen Daniels who's turning the ball over. I was shocked when I saw those numbers. Now, they're going to have to be good because Kansas State's 15th and 19th in those metrics. But we've seen Kansas State be susceptible to points and allowing it. Now, on the other side, Kansas State, to me, they could put up a ton of points. This offense feels like it's rolling. They're clicking. Avery Johnson looks comfortable. They're 9th in EPA per rush, 15th in EPA per pass, going up against a horrible Kansas defense at 73rd and 82nd. I think we're going to see points in this one. It's going to be a classic fun Kansas game where we see a ton that the scoreboard get lit up.
If for those of you that are able to bet college football player props, Avery Johnson 50+ yards is plus 132 on FanDuel right now, and that feels like Kansas State might run for 300 yards in this game. You can take some Devin Neal stuff if you're really into it, but I think Avery might be the play.
All right, well that's my last one, Tyson. What do you think overall? How we like our card? I mean, we're pretty simpatico.
I think you're only losing one game this week, which is unfortunate for you. But let's go IU.
It'd be not bad for the wallet. It'd be good for the spirit. So I think we're hedging everything here. You got a ton of plays though. I mean, we're not going to take anything on Thursday. We're recording on Wednesday night. This will come out. We're recording on Thursday. I'm sorry. So we weren't able to put anything out for these Thursday games. But Tyson, we got football pretty much till the end of time until 2026 or 2025. Where can they find the rest of our plays?
It'll be in the Discord app. Just hop in there. Group name, as I said, what I said. Link is in the bio. As Brad said, tons of different channels in there. College football is going Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The NFL takes over the other days of the week, and then the NBA just started back up, throwing stuff in there. Hockey's here. Whatever you can think, we got in there.
College basketball coming back too. That's been a moneymaker for both you and I.
The national championship.
Duke, baby, come on, Cooper Flag. That's my team. I think we're finally seeing it. They should have won it with Banchero. Should have won it with Zion. This is the year that the one and done get done. First time.
Shoulda.
John Shire, it's his time, baby. Third time's the charm. Like, subscribe, and share on the way out, folks. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. If you're listening to podcast form, 5 stars, please. If you haven't already, it really does help us out. Share the show with a friend. Share it with somebody that you hate. If you want somebody to, fade us, you can do that as well. Let us know what you're playing in the comments if you'd like. But we'll be back breaking down our NFL slate coming out later so we get ready for Sunday, and we'll talk to you guys then. Peace.